Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Charan. In this video I will show you in ASP.NET Core MVC application how to create a new user registration form. And here we got the final output. Notice the header tag user registration form in ASP.NET Core MVC application. Below that we have the registration form details. Now before enter the values, the user details, let's click the button control. See here we got the validation error message. So let's enter the username Charan, the password is 1234 and the confirm password I'm adding the wrong one. Our password is 1234. Here I'm adding some random text. When I click tab, see here the confirm password and password do not match. So let's add the real password 1234. Password and confirm password both are same. Now next email charan@gmail.com and the gender male, and the next one is the marital status is married. Now before click the save user record button, let's check the details in the table. I'm executing the table user reg, execute. See here we got the results of this table. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's insert the user Charan records into this table. Save user record. And here we got a message, the user Charan is saved successfully. Let's check in the database table. I'm executing the statement again, execute. See here we got the Charan details are added successfully. Now let's add another details. This time I'm adding the username Jack and the password is password also Jack confirm password ja@yahoo.com and the gender is male and marital status is unmarried. Save user record. And here the message, the user Jack is saved successfully. Let's check in the database table. I'm executing the select statement again. See here we got the Jack user details are inserted successfully. That's it. I have implemented ASP.NET Core MVC application to create the user registration form. If you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to get the latest updates. Before writing the coding part in ASP.NET Core MVC application to insert records, first we'll create a new table in SQL Server Management Studio. I'm expanding the root folder as well as the databases. I want to create a new table in this EMP database. Let's expand this EMP table as well as the tables folder. Notice right now this EMP database contains 0 tables. Let's create a new table. Right click the database EMP, select new query, create table user reg is a table name. Let's add the column names, user ID, integer type, not null, primary key, so gap, and I'm adding the auto increment column identity, username and varchar 150, password and varchar 150. Let's give this 100 and confirm password, confirm pwd and varchar 150, user email and varchar 150, and the confirm password also is 100, and gender is cat type and marital status and varchar 100. Let's execute the statement to create the user table. Execute. and here we got a message command completed successfully. Let's check. I'm refreshing the tables folder. Refresh. See here the user reg table is added successfully. Let's browse the table. Right click the table name, select top 1000 rows, and here we got the results of this newly created user reg table. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's insert the user details into this table in ASP.NET Core MVC application. For this video tutorial, I am creating a new ASP.NET Core application. Go to File, New, Project, and from the project I am selecting ASP.NET Core Web Application. Click Next, and the project name is User Reg MVC Core is my project name, and I'm saving this project in the location D drive project folder. Click Create, and from the core web application I'm selecting the template model view control, which is the MVC template, and the version I'm using ASP.NET Core 3.0. Click Create, and the project is created successfully. Let's close this default window. Let's open Solution Explorer. First, in this project I am adding my connection string in the app settings.json file. Let's open this file, app settings.json. Now in this JSON file I am adding my connection string. Between curly braces I am adding double quotes, connection strings, colon, curly braces, double quotes, my connection is my connection string name, colon, again double quotes. Now between these double quotes I am adding my connection string data source. So to get the data source, open Server Explorer. In the Server Explorer there is a data connections. Right click that one, add connection. I am adding my SQL Server name is after adding SQL Server name. Now next I'm selecting the database name. The database is the EMP. I have selected that one. Test connection is succeeded. OK. And here we got the emp.db is added under data connections in Server Explorer. Now we require the data source of this EMP database. Right click the project name, right click the database, go to properties. In the properties there is a connection string which contains data source. Just copy the data source and paste between these double quotes in the app settings.json file. After that we need to close comma after the curly brace of the connection strings. After adding the data source in our connection string JSON file, next open Solution Explorer. We'll add the classes in this models folder. Right click the models folder, add class, and the class name I'm giving user class, enter, and here we got our user class. Now in this user class I'm just defining the public properties. Before that let's add the namespace using system dot component model dot data notions. Then I'm adding key prop double tab, which will create the property. The first property type is integer type, and the property name is, we need to add our project database table column names user ID. Copy that one and paste here. And the second property prop string, the property name is username. Copy that one and paste here. And I'm adding It's a required error message is equals to, and please enter username. It's the error message I want to display. Then the next property, which is a string type, and the property name is password. Copy that one and paste here. Let's add the data initials here. Required error message is equals to, please enter the password. Is the error message I want to display if the user leave the text box control empty. Then data type, and the data type dot password. Next one, display name. Display is equals to name. Name is equals to, between double quotes, I'm adding password. This is a label, and here also I required display name is equals to username. After the password, just copy this one, paste here. Please enter the error message is a confirm password, and confirm password, and the data the property name is confirm password. Paste here. Now just copy this one. Please enter email, and the username is a email, the property. Again copy this thing, paste here, select the gender, label is a gender, and the property name is a column name gender, and the last one is marital status. Select the marital status, and the property name is the column name marital status. Copy that one and paste here. That's it. We have added the properties in this user class. Now let's add a new class. To add the DB context, open Solution Explorer, in the same models folder, right click that one, add class, and the class name is application user class. Click add, and here we got our application user class. Now in this class I am inheriting the DB context class. So to inherit the class, we need to add the colon DB context. The DB context class belongs to the Microsoft.Entity Framework Core package. So let's add that one using Microsoft.Entity Framework. If you notice in the drop down, we don't have any Entity Framework Core package. So first let's install the package into our project. Open Solution Explorer, expand the dependencies folder. In the dependencies, notice there is no any packages folder. Now let's import the necessary packages for this project into this project. Right click the project name, manage network packages, select that one. Now go to browse and search for Microsoft Entity Framework Core. And this is a package I want to install. Select that one, and the version is 3.0. Click install. Click OK. I accept. And the package is installed successfully. Open Solution Explorer. Notice in the project in the dependencies folder, now we got the packages folder is added. When I expand the packages folder, this is the package we have just installed, Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. Let's install the other necessary package for this project. We require the SQL Server. Select that one, click install. All the packages whatever I am installing, the version is 3.0. Click OK. Let's accept the license. And SQL package is also installed successfully. Now the third package we require the design entity framework code.design. Select that one, click install. Click OK. I accept the license. And the design package is also installed successfully. Now the last package I require this one, entity framework code.tools package. I have selected that one. Click install. Click OK. Let's accept the license. And the package is installed successfully. That's it. We have added the necessary packages. Let's check in the Solution Explorer. Notice in the packages folder we got all the 4 packages are installed successfully. After adding the necessary package to our project, now let's close this Nugget package window, close the error list and output message box. Now let's add the namespace using Microsoft.Entity Framework Core. Then in the application user class, let's inherit DB context class. So after inherit the DB context, next let's create the constructor for this class. To create the constructor, CTOR, double tab, it will create the constructor for this class. Let's add the DB context options. In the DB context options, the context type I'm adding our application user class, this class name, then add the options colon base options. Then after the constructor, let's create the property. The property type is dbset, and the dbset the entities we are getting from this user class, let's add that class name. And the property here we have to add the table name. Our table name is a user reg. Copy that one and paste here. That's it. After adding the constructor and the dbset property, next open Solution Explorer. Notice in the project there is a startup.cs file at the bottom. Open that file. Now in this file we need to add the services for the application user class and our connection string name in this configure service method. So before adding the services, let's import the namespaces using Microsoft.Entity Framework Core, and the next namespace using user or project name dot models folder. After adding these 2 namespaces, Now in the configure services, let's add the services dot add db context. In the db context, I'm adding application connections user class. This class name options dot use SQL server method. In this SQL server method, I'm adding configuration dot get connection string. In this get connection string, between double quotes, I am adding the name of my connection string, which we have to open app settings.json file. Our connection string name is my connection. Copy that one and paste between these double quotes, semicolon. So after adding the services, the db context and the configuration connection string name in the startup.cs file, next we have to add the controller. Open Solution Explorer, right click the controllers folder, add controller, and I'm selecting the controller MVC controller empty, add, and the controller name is user registration controller is my MVC controller name. Click add, and here we got our controller user registration. Now first in this controller, let's add the namespace using Microsoft.Entity Framework. Then let's add the models folder also, the project name dot models folder. After adding these two namespaces, now in this controller, first I'm adding the private read only. In this read only, I'm adding application user class. Let's create the object AUC. Then let's create the constructor for this controller. CTOR double tab. It creates the constructor for this controller. Now in this constructor, I'm adding application user class AUC. Then underscore AUC is equals to AUC. Now after that, if you notice here, the iAction result is the index method, which is a default. But here our project is we are posting the data, we are saving the data into a database. So we require the two methods, one for the HTTP get and the second one for the HTTP post. So for that, I'm adding a new action result, public iAction result create method, and this create method is HTTP get. We need to add the return view method, and the second one for the HTTP post. So again I need to create the same create method, pasting here, but we need to add the method HTTP post. This one is post. Then validate anti-forgery token. Then in the iAction result create, I'm adding the user class, and this user class contains our public properties. Let's create the object UC, then underscore AUC dot add method. In this add method, I'm adding UC, the entities we are getting from this user class. Then after we add the details, then we need to save underscore AUC dot save changes method. Once the user details are saved successfully, I want to display the message. For that, I'm using viewBag dot message is equals to the user plus plus uc dot this object dot I'm adding the username is saved successfully, semicolon. That's it. We have written the code to save the user details into a table in ASP.NET Core MVC application. Now the last step, we require the view page for this create method. So before adding the create method, we must build the application first. Build solution. The project builds successfully. Let's close this output message box. Now select the create method, right click the mouse, add view. The view name is create, the template, I'm selecting the template create. The create template is to insert the data. After that, the model class, I'm adding our user class name. So here it is a user class. After adding the model class, then click add. And here we got our create view page. Now in this create view page, first let's change the headings. The heading is user registration form in ASP.NET Core MVC application. Let's do ASP.NET Core 3.0 tutorials. And after that I'm adding horizontal line. I don't require this H4 heading and the horizontal line. Then below that, if you notice, all the necessary controls is added automatically when we have chosen the create template. So for that I'm changing some modifications. Here if you notice a user ID which I don't require, so just delete this one because the user ID is the auto-generated column. And in the password I'm adding the type is equals to password, and the same property I'm adding for the confirm password text box also, semicolon. And in the gender, instead of text box control, I want to add the radio button controls. Input type is equals to radio, and the name is equals to, I'm adding this gender, copy this one and paste here. The value is equals to, because the data type of the gender is the character type, so we need to add only the single character. Then I'm adding male. Just copy this one, paste here. I'm adding female. I don't require this one, the text box control, just comment this part. And in the marital status, I want to add the drop down control. So for that I'm adding select option, select. The select I'm adding ASP4. In the ASP4 I'm adding the marital status. Copy this one and paste here. Then in the options, the first one option is a default label for the drop down list. Select marital status. And the option, this one I want to disable, so selected disabled. And the next one is the option is married. Copy that one, paste here. Unmarried. And the next option is widow. That's it. And the button control, the name of the button, value of the button control, I'm saving. I'm adding the save user record. I have changed the text of the button control. Then once the record is inserted successfully, I want to display the message. So let's add the bold tag, add symbol, and add this viewback.message from this user registration controller. And let's check again. Let's add 9 here. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. Let's check again in the user class. Here I forgot to add. We need to compare the password and confirm password. So here we need to add the determination compare method. In this compare, I'm adding string this data type pwd. I'm comparing the confirm password with this password. That's it. Here in the marital status, I don't require this because instead of text box control, we have added the marital status. That's it. We have done the complete coding part. But before run this application, the most important, we have to change the controller name. So to change the controller name, open startup.cs file. In the startup.cs file, come to the bottom. Notice in the configure method there is a controller which contains home, which is a default controller name. Our controller name is a user registration. Let's copy this one, user registration. Copy that one and paste here. And the action is equals to, which is a create method, and this method I'm adding because our view page is this one only, create view page. That's it. Now it's time to check the results on the browser. Browse with, I'm selecting the browser Google Chrome, set as default browse. And here we got the final output. Notice the header tag user registration form in ASP.NET Core MVC application. Below that we have the registration form details. Now before enter the values, the user details, let's click the button control. See here we got the validation error message. So let's enter the username Charan, the password is 1234. And the confirm password, I'm adding the wrong one. Our password is 1234. Here I'm adding some random text. When I click tab, see here the confirm password and password do not match. So let's add the real password 1234. Password and confirm password both are same. Now next, email charan@gmail.com and the gender male. And the next one is the marital status is married. Now before click the save user record button, let's check the details in the table. I'm executing the table user age, execute. So here we got the results of this table. Right now this table contains 0 rows. Let's insert the user Charan records into this table, save user record. And here we got a message, the user Charan is saved successfully. Let's check in the database table. I'm executing the statement again, execute. So here we got the Charan details are added successfully. Now let's add another details. This time I'm adding the username Jack and the password is Password also Jack confirm password ja at yahoo.com, and the gender is male. Marital status is unmarried. Save user record, and here the message, the user Jack is saved successfully. Let's check in the database table. I'm executing the select statement again. See, here we got the Jack user details are inserted successfully. That's it. I have implemented ASP.NET Core MVC application to create the user registration form.